afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. At Indigo, we believe that all of us, men and women, have the power to make a change in our roles, in our lives, in our industry, and with the people around us. And it is with this belief that we forge forward to empower women, both internally and externally. And this is led from the front by our president, Mr. Aditya Ghosh. Be it the women who we support, who after getting trained on the basics of entrepreneurship in their villages earn 7,000 to 8,000 rupees a month, send their children to school and have bank accounts, or internally, our women leaders who head departments like in-flight services. Mrs. Chopra, would you please wave out your hand? Emergency response management, administration, Shalini. Our legal teams, or our ladies who are scaling heights in their careers of being in senior positions of leadership development, Anita. The human resource team, Mansi and Pallavi, and it's Pallavi's birthday as well today. Or in finance, or in airport operations. So where's Charu and Shamli and everyone? And our check leads, core leads, and our flight operations teams. This is a choice that we make every day of encouragement, motivation, mentoring, and coaching. I was speaking with Mr. Ghosh the other day, wherein we think a time is going to come where we will not have to celebrate an all-women crew on board the aircraft. It'll just be an everyday occurrence that happens. I would like to take this opportunity to read out something that adorns our wall at iFly, which is our learning academy at Indigo. This was sent by one of our cabin crew and aptly describes them. You might not call us heroes, but we could be. We take responsibility of 180 people, 35,000 feet in the air. And we do it in heels, perfect hair, painted.
Said I'm here, of course, to tell you what's coming up this afternoon, but there are people on this panel today who will be truly leaving you with some of the most inspiring stories that you will be hearing. But I will now hand on the mic to one of my earliest crushes, if I may, because at the end of the day, let me just say, लड़कियां कुछ भी कर सकती हैं, लेकिन सबसे बेहतर हमसे कोई ज़्यादा प्यार नहीं कर सकता. So Rahul, I must say this to you, when you walked into the room this morning at 11:15, a lot of the girls in uniform were just like, oh my God, it's Rahul Bose. Okay, outside of that, now that we've acknowledged this, let's get back to our serious selves, right? Director, actor, screenwriter, social activist, but more than anything else, a man who truly believes in this line, that ladkiyan kuch bhi kar sakti hain. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the director of Purna, Mr. Rahul Bose. Give him a big hand. Thank you.
Thanks, Rohini. Film promotions ज़्यादातर काफ़ी direct होते हैं. Go see the film, coming soon, everybody has to come, buy your tickets now. लेकिन जब आदित्य और मैं बात कर रहे थे, when we met and we talked about a potential partnership, Purna, when she summited Everest and came down, in one of her first interviews, Purna को पूछा गया कि तुम एवरेस्ट क्यों समिट की, तुमने क्यों किया ऐसा? पूर्णा ने जवाब ये नहीं दिया कि क्योंकि मैं एडवेंचरर बनना चाहती हूँ, क्योंकि मैं ये करना चाहती हूँ. उसने सिर्फ ये कहा क्योंकि मैं दिखाना चाहती थी कि लड़कियाँ कुछ भी कर सकती हैं. So when I was talking to Aditya, I said this is a great line, along with the Indigo Reach initiative that all of you do in terms of empowering women, and the story of this film. So then I began to think about how could we actually make this meaningful. So it's an afternoon where people can really listen. And then if they go and see the film is a separate thing, but they should first listen as to what it is that Indigo believes in and what it is that we believe in, because it comes from something that a 13-year-old girl said from the center of her heart. She wasn't calculating, she wasn't giving a soundbite. This is exactly why Purna lives her life. When you hear her life story and you find out now what she's doing, you're going to be even more strengthened of the fact that this girl genuinely means what this line says. And then I was thinking, what's the best way to make people enjoy an afternoon? And I thought to myself, let's get women. Let's get women at the top of their professions, but let's not make it all sports. We could have had Sakshi, Deepa, Sindhu, and Purna. But I said, no, let's look at women's journeys. जो सफ़र औरतों ने किया है, not SUFFER, but just suffer, in case someone thought that, in different professions. And let's hear those stories, क्योंकि एक-एक पेशे में अलग-अलग तजुर्बे, अलग-अलग experiences हो सकते हैं. So let's get all of that happening and let's listen to it. तो उसी मकसद से I called up my friends, and normally I know that they would, at least some of them would run a mile before coming onto a stage like this, but they are my friends and I know their journeys and I respect them unconditionally. So Rohini has introduced all of them, but I will be calling them on stage in the next second. Of course, there's Zoya, who's been my friend for 25 years, and who finally we managed to work together after so many years. Yours is a great story, from being an assistant director to Meera and all the international filmmakers, and then making. So we want to hear that. Barkha, who I've known for 20 years, and from the time when you were this feisty reporter at NDTV to now being a feisty reporter in the world. I was about to finish my line. Sakshi, who I don't know very well at all, who I've met the second time, third time we've met, but whose story is something that we need to hear, because although we've heard snippets of it before, we'll kind of get a nice, clear idea of where she came from and where she's going to. And finally, what I want to do is I want to show you the trailer of the film, because not many people know. Now you might be knowing 13-year-old climbed Mount Everest, but I think the trailer will give you some idea of Purna and what she did, and who, it'll also introduce to you the wonderful actress who plays Purna, who's in the room with us today. And after that, there's some photographs of the real Purna in her summit to Everest, which nobody has seen before. So I thought we'll just show these two things, and then I can call the panel on stage and we can start chatting. But before that, I just want to quickly introduce my co-producer, Amit Patni. Amit, in the last, he took just, come here Amit, he took 4 months, and I took 4 months to raise the money, but he took 2 meetings. It doesn't get, Zoya, it doesn't get better than this. In our second meeting, he just said, done, I did a narration for his daughters, one of whom is in the room today, and his wife, and we just sat together and we chatted about the film, and everybody was excited and we were on. So I just wanted to say that you don't get films, you don't make films without money, and you don't make films without people who actually have a belief in a story of a 13-year-old girl with no star in it. So Amit, thank you. Thanks so much. Okay, guys, let's watch the trailer. And let's have a chat. Aiye, come. I'm going to sit in the center. Anywhere you wish. Come. Come, Purna. Sakshi, aa jao. Zo. Right. So, I would like to talk more about journeys. Just about how it has been from in your lives. So, क्यों ना हम शुरू करते हैं शुरू से. Should we talk about homes, like how it was at home? I'll set the ball rolling. मेरी माँ एक दिन रसोई घर में पैर नहीं डाली. She never cooked. My father cooked at home. And जब मैं दूसरों के घर जाता था और मैं देखता था कि माएँ थी रसोई घर में और बाप जो था वो बाहर अखबार पढ़ रहा था, तो मैं कहता था very sad, your mother's in the kitchen. They're like, what are you talking about? So that's the place where I grew up. Barkha, how was it for you when you grew up, and where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in Delhi, couple of years in New York, but mostly in Delhi. My mother was a journalist. My father worked in the airline industry, actually, with Air India. I think what I want to say here is that I recognize myself, Zoya, at least I can speak for both of us, to be women who come from a privileged background, both in terms of the role models we had and the economic exposure and the privileges that we took for granted. But even within that, आप लोगों को लगता होगा, शायद पूर्णा को लगता होगा कि जो शहरों में लड़कियां रहती हैं उनको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होती, अगर वो एवरेस्ट क्लाइम करना चाहें उनको कोई नहीं रोकेगा। मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि 1999 में जब इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में कारगिल की जंग हुई और मैं पत्रकार थी, मुझे आई वांटेड टू कवर द वॉर एंड आई वेंट टू आस्क इफ आई कुड गो टू द वॉर फ्रंट, तो मुझे बोला गया कि लड़कियां नहीं जा सकती, हम नहीं भेज सकते। और जब मैंने बोला क्यों, तो बोला नहीं नहीं हम वी कांट लुक आफ्टर यू, हम ये जंग है, ये वॉर है, हम आपकी देखभाल नहीं कर सकते। तो मैंने उनसे कहा कि आपको क्यों लगता है कि मुझे देखभाल की ज़रूरत है, आप जो मेरे मेल कॉलीग्स हैं आप उनको तो ये नहीं बोल रहे। तो उन्होंने कहा नहीं, और प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। मैंने कहा कैसे प्रैक्टिकल प्रॉब्लम? बोला सोने की जगह नहीं है, बाथरूम नहीं है। So, you know, these are the kind of things that are said to you, Rahul, even when you think that you have every opportunity, you're a strong feminist, nobody can stop you from anything. So, ladai jhagda karke, I went, and of course I said, I will use, you know, a bathroom not going to stop me from covering a war. I'll go behind a tree or, you know, I'm behind a rock under a tree, just like the guys do. And there was often times when I was, you know, spending the night in a cupboard space with 10 other men. But that's how it was. But जो पहले की resistance थी, जो एक opposition थी, and what I found was that I seemed to have been living my mother's life. I was playing my mother's life out. My mother died when I was 13 years old, but those 13 years were enough to really root me very strongly. And when I went and covered the war, a lot of people called me India's first woman war correspondent. बहुत से लोगों ने समझा कि मैं पहली औरत हूँ जर्नलिज्म में जिसने जाके एक जंग को फ्रंट लाइन से कवर किया, एक वॉर को। लेकिन 1965 में जब इंडिया और पाकिस्तान के बीच में जंग हुआ, तो मेरी जो माँ थी वो हिंदुस्तान टाइम्स के साथ रिपोर्टर थी। तो उन्होंने जाके अपने एडिटर को बोला, मैं तब पैदा नहीं हुई थी, उन्होंने जाके अपने एडिटर को बोला कि मैं आई वांट टू गो टू द वॉर फ्रंट। एडिटर ने कहा हम औरतों को भेज नहीं सकते फ्रंट। सो आई एम, यू जस्ट सी द कॉन्वर्सेशंस दैट हैपन विद वुमेन रिमेन इटर्नल एंड सेम ओवर डेकेड्स। तो उन्होंने कहा क्यों? उन्होंने कहा नहीं, कोई सवाल ही नहीं उठता, आप औरत है। ये मैं अपनी माँ की बात कर रही हूँ 65 की वॉर में। तो उन्होंने कहा ठीक है, अगर इफ यू नॉट गोइंग टू लेट मी कवर द बिगेस्ट स्टोरी दैट यू नो व्हाट, गिव मी छुट्टी। तो वो छुट्टी लेके अकेली गई टू द वॉर फ्रंट।
No way.
She went alone. She told her office that she was going on holiday, and she went by herself with her notepad and pen to cover the war between India and Pakistan. So when I did the same in 1999, मुझे ये एहसास हुआ that so many women in my mother's generation had actually come and broken, if not totally shattered the glass ceiling, at least cracked it enough that I could come and throw the next stone. So, हालांकि हम लोग privilege से आते हैं, हालांकि हमारे role models बहुत strong रहे हैं as female role models, और हालांकि मुझे वो challenges नहीं हुई जो शायद साक्षी या पूर्णा को उनके जो obstructions उनके लिए आई शायद मेरे लिए नहीं आई, लेकिन ये सब privilege होते भी औरत के लिए कुछ conversations eternal है, कुछ oppositions eternal है।
साक्षी, घर का माहौल कैसा था जब आप छोटी थी? भाई बहन कहाँ पे थे?
सबसे पहले तो मैं लकी हूँ कि पेरेंट्स ने कभी मुझ में और भाई में फ़र्क नहीं समझा। उन्होंने
आपका एक भाई है?
हाँ, एक भाई है।
तो आप दो हैं?
दो।
बस, okay.
लेकिन आसपास के लोग और इन सब से बहुत मुझे मतलब ये फील हुआ कि मैं लड़की हूँ, ये फील कराया जाता था। मैं कहीं भी रिलेटिव्स के पास जाती तो भाई को पहले पूछते थे, उससे जाते ही प्यार मिलता था। मैं देखती थी खड़ी होके कि क्या मतलब लड़की होने का इतना बड़ा वो, पहले छोटी थी जब नहीं समझ में आती थी बात। अब मैं सोचती हूँ कि मैं जब गांव में या कहीं जाती थी मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ था, क्योंकि बचपन में इतनी समझ नहीं होती है। फिर मैंने रेसलिंग स्टार्ट की तो सेम सिचुएशन रेसलिंग में भी सब बोलते थे कि लड़कों का गेम है, आप अपने भाई को भेजो। पेरेंट्स को बोलते थे, मुझे बुरी नज़र से देखते थे कि रेसलिंग कर रही है, मतलब इतनी बुरी नज़र से, सोच भी उनकी अजीब थी। आसपास के मम्मी पापा को छोड़ के आसपास के रिलेटिव्स की मैं बात कर रही हूँ, और वही अब मेरे साथ मतलब बात करने के लिए तरसते हैं और फोटोज की, साक्षी कब घर आएगी प्लीज़ हमें बताना, हमें फ़ोटो लेना है,
हमारी साक्षी ये रहो।
तो इतना सब चेंज हुआ है। तो हरियाणा में भी ये सब था, पेरेंट्स भी अपने लड़का लड़की मतलब अपने बेटा बेटी को नहीं गेम्स में डालते थे, लड़कियों को तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं। लेकिन अभी मेरे मेडल के बाद बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट हुई है और आगे आने वाले टाइम पे मेरी तो यही है कि बस यही चेंज मैं देखना चाहूँगी कि लास्ट तक लड़का लड़की में बिल्कुल फ़र्क ख़त्म हो जाए, किसी भी छोटी सी चीज़ में भी।
तुम्हारे डैडी मम्मी के बारे में बताइए, क्या करते थे, माहौल कैसा था?
शुरू में मैं जब पैदा हुई तो मम्मी की जॉब लग गई थी, तो इतना केयर नहीं कर पाए, मुझे दादी जी के पास छोड़ दिया था। और जिनके मैं सबसे करीब हूँ वो मेरे दादी जी ही हैं। हाँ, और फिर पापा भी जॉब करते थे, नॉर्मल हम बैकग्राउंड फैमिली ओके थी, तो फिर स्कूल नॉर्मल जो एक लाइफ होती है। बट फिर मुझे ये था कि मुझे स्पोर्ट्स में बहुत इंटरेस्ट था शुरू से ही, तो मुझे कोई स्पोर्ट्स चूज़ करना था, तो मैंने रेसलिंग चूज़ किया।
Zoya?
Like Balka said, I think I'm one of the lucky ones. My mother actually was pulled out of school by her mother and was working. She was a child star in the Hindi film industry since she was 3 years old. So she's worked all her life, she had her own issues with that.
She never went to school.
No, she studied till the 4th grade. She's self-educated.
But she's a great writer.
Yeah, she's self-educated. So she studied later. When she met my dad on a film set, she was 17 or 18, and they got married and had me. So Farhan and me were born to teenagers. And yeah, so she, while we were growing up, wanted to study and wanted to work in film and wanted to write and direct. And she started working. She went to FTII. We lived with my father. She was in Pune. We used to go there every weekend to the film school and hang out with her. There was no concept of...
How old were you when she was in FTI?
Less than 10. Yeah. So there was no concept of women and men and what they can do. I don't remember a day where I felt different because I'm a girl from my brother. We are a year apart. We were treated the same. When I went to college in Xavier's, was my first brush with sexism. Was like my friend not being allowed out in the night, even though her brother was with us because she was a girl. And it shocked me. I couldn't understand it, and after that, obviously, you start seeing it more and more and more. Lucky for me, I've experienced skirmishes in my career. You meet somebody that says, "Oh, you're going to be an assistant director. I hope you don't start crying." I'm like, why will I start crying? Things like that.
I want to get to that because you had a long phase, I know, but you had a long phase as an assistant director. And that's a very different phase from being a director,
Yes.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
And that phase, because I've seen you, we did a film together, Bombay Boys. That phase is something I want to talk about, but I'm just going to ask Purna about her growing up. How was it at home, Purna? Who is at home? You have a brother, I know, and there's Lakshmi and Devidas, your parents. But how was the atmosphere at home? Especially when you began to rock climb and all this stuff.
Okay, I'm lucky because I got great parents and encourageable parents, so I thank to God. So I have an elder brother who is doing civil engineering BTech third year in Hyderabad. So from childhood, I interested to play sports, and if we want to get matchbox, we have to walk 7 kilometers from my village to other village because there is no shop facilities, bus facilities and road facilities also. So we have to walk 7 kilometers to buy matchbox also. So I came from poor background. My parents, they do agriculture work, and so from 1st to 5th standard, I studied in my village, Pakala. Luckily, I got admission in social welfare school, government school, in 6th standard. From 6th standard, now 12th, I completed 12th standard. So I'm studying there only. So when I was in 9th standard, I got opportunity to climb Mount Everest by Secretary Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar, who is the head of all social welfare schools. So I thank him also.
But tell me, when you were 1st to 5th, then you had to go out. Did your mother, did your father, who decided to send you out? Or did they both agree to send you out? Because it's difficult to send one child to like that a boarding school, no?
तो रॉक क्लाइंबिंग के बारे में सर्कुलर सेक्रेटरी सर ने सर्कुलर प्रवीण कुमार सर ने सर्कुलर भेजा था ऑल स्कूल ही सेंडेड टू ऑल स्कूल्स देन PT madam came to me and she asked me you want to go you know Mount Everest she asked me then I said I don't know Mount Everest but it's सुनने में तो different है I want to go madam I'll do that I don't know about Mount Everest but I'm interested to do because it different then PT madam called my parents to school to ask permission to go rock climbing training then dad came to school मम्मी नहीं आई थी then मैडम पूछा था पापा को तो रॉक क्लाइंबिंग के लिए जा रही है तो आप कुछ होगा तो you want to take care about her she said then मैंने पूछा पापा को मैं जाती हूँ मैं करती हूँ ऐसे पूछा था he encouraged me he always encouraged me from childhood but when we go Mount Everest क्लाइंबिंग के लिए गए थे जब पेरेंट्स को पूछा था मैं मम्मी को पूछा था मैं जा रही हूँ एवरेस्ट चढ़ने के लिए जा रही हूँ तो आप I said that's it then she cried आप अकेली बेटी है क्यों जा रही हो कुछ होगा तो क्या she said then पापा को पूछा मैंने मुझे इंटरेस्ट है माउंट एवरेस्ट क्लाइंब करना बिकॉज मैं मेरे गांव में सुना था कि लड़कियों कुछ नहीं करती है कुछ भी है तो लड़कों करते हैं बॉयज दे डू एनीथिंग मैंने बहुत सुना मेरे गांव में देन आफ्टर लकीली आई गॉट माउंट एवरेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी देन आई decided to climb Mount Everest and I want to prove the girls can do anything. So I decided then I convinced my mom also. Then my mom said, she said, पापा ने भी बोला आप मेरी बेटी है तो पीछे आएगी आप गॉड का बेटी है तो रह जाएगी they said like that. Then I started Everest climbing and they very encouraged me they are encouraged me and motivated me and I thank to my parents my dad is here only.
Devidas, where are you? Devidas kahan hai? There he is. Better. बहुत से सवाल है पूर्णा lots of questions about actual Everest climbing everybody wants to know but we'll come to that later. Barkha, you want to say something? I mean
that got overtaken by Purna's story. I will talk about crying. I mean, I'm having a little weep on the stage, and I think I finally reached that point where I'm not defensive about.
I want to ask you a
about
specific
actually
question.
crying. Actually, her comment about that made me remember that when I was at the war front, there were these group of soldiers who'd actually saved our lives, literally. Like there were shells and bombs raining down, and they helped us take shelter with them in an underground bunker. And then these same soldiers who had saved our lives got the marching orders to go up for the next assault. And it was quite clear that they may not come back alive. And in a short span of time, as happens in these kind of situations, 2-3 of us, the reporters who they'd helped, had developed a great attachment to them. And I saw that my male colleagues were saying goodbye to them as they went up to climb those jagged mountain peaks. The boys were crying. And I was so defensive about being a female at the front line that I did not allow myself to cry. So when she was talking about this whole thing about, you know, people just assume you'll cry, you also go through that journey where you're actually quite comfortable crying, and it's okay, and it doesn't diminish your strength in any way. And I think her story really did bring tears to my eyes of just, you know, realizing how easy our lives are by comparison and how little we've had to fight to get to where I am. And I would just like to say that to me, her father and the police officer are really also heroes of this story. So,
Zoya, I know that I was exactly what I wanted to talk to you about was, tell me about that phase that you are obviously the daughter of Hani and Javed, and you know you went to the film industry and expectations are high, but you chose to slog it out for years. I think 6-7 years.
I mean, a part of it was choice, part of it was just I couldn't get a movie made. So it took that time. But I was an assistant director. I chose not to work in the Hindi film industry because I didn't particularly like the movies that were being made at that time. I had just come back from NYU in New York. I wanted to work on films that were shot in one schedule, that were shot with Sing Sound, because I thought that's where the industry would be going, and for once I was right. So I chose to work mainly on foreign films and independent films, and it was a very interesting journey because nobody really knew in that world who I was. So you were treated the same, and you dealt with stuff. You dealt with the regular stuff, you know, and you just have to get out there and do it.
No, but okay, then in that case, it's very interesting to know how did things change when you became Zoya Akhtar, the director in Hindi movies?
I personally find being a director much easier than being a first assistant director. The first assistant director is the bad cop, and you know, so you're constantly rabid, and that is something which I feel like when we talk of sexism, you know, you're always judged if you're a woman and you are in control. In the sense like you are, you know, she's rabid, she's bossy. I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. It's as simple as that. You know, I mean, I don't have to prove anything, this is it. So you always get that, oh, he's really good at his job, he knows what he wants. She's bossy. You know, there's a difference in that.
So that it was there in the film industry also?
Yeah,
because it's there in the corporate world.
Yeah. But after a point, you create your rapport, you know, with people. I have my own kind of crew now, they know you, it gets comfortable. You can't get angry about it. You just have to laugh about it and move on. But it's there, Like if, you know, I know male directors that have hit their assistants, made them kneel down, punished them, like behaved completely mental. But if a woman on set
Where are my
screams,
assistants?
yeah. The difference is the way people look at it is those are the kind of things you deal with, you know?
It's like an aggressive woman is like a bitch, and an aggressive man is strong.
I've been told that, you know,
It's
you're
that-
like a guy on set. I'm like, what does that mean? That means you know what you want, as opposed to women who never, who just don't know what they want. So it's that kind of sexism. You know, I've never dealt with anything like they have. Nowhere close, you know.
रेसलिंग अब आप रेसलिंग में कैसे आई और वहाँ पे क्या वो सवाल था कि लेडी रेसलर कैसे हो सकता है, उसका भाई क्यों नहीं करता है, ऐसा कुछ, मतलब वो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन रेसलिंग वर्ल्ड में आपको मिला, गर्ल वर्सेस बॉय? पहले तो रेसलिंग में आप कैसे आई, उसके बाद रेसलिंग में करते करते वहाँ पे आपको लगा कि अभी भी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन चल रहा है?
शुरू से ही स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटीज़ में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड थी. स्कूल में कोई भी स्पोर्ट्स होता था तो मुझे पार्ट लेना होता था, चाहे वो पावर का गेम है जैसे एथलेटिक्स में शॉट पुट है या कोई बास्केटबॉल है, कुछ भी होता था मुझे पार्ट लेना था. फिर ऐसे ही नाम सुनते थे जैसे कि बड़े बड़े मतलब जो जैसे क्रिकेट उस टाइम पे ज़्यादा सुना जाता, तो मुझे भी था कि कोई ऐसा मुझे भी स्पोर्ट चुनना है. तो सडनली न्यूज़पेपर में फ़ोटो आए थे, हमारे एक सीनियर दीदी है उनकी, तो उन्होंने रेसलिंग कॉस्ट्यूम और एक हाथ में जो रेसलिंग में गदा मिलती है जो हनुमान जी लेते हैं, तो वो सिर्फ रेसलिंग में ही मिलती है. तो वो देख के मुझे वो बहुत क्लिक हुआ कि मुझे अब तो यही गेम करना है. कुछ दादाजी से
एक फोटो देखकर?
हाँ.
आपने कभी रेसलिंग नहीं देखा था?
नहीं, मैंने रेसलिंग नहीं देखा था, सिर्फ दादाजी से भी सुना था. मैंने जैसे कि बताया मैं गाँव में मुझे छोड़ दिया था दादा दादी के पास, तो दादा से भी सुना था कि वो भी रेसलिंग करते थे मिट्टी में. उस टाइम मैट रेसलिंग नहीं होती थी. तो जब से मुझे हुआ कि मुझे अब तो यही गेम करना है, और फिर पेरेंट्स ने मुझे छोड़ दिया वहाँ पे. रेसलिंग में आने के बाद इतना नहीं हुआ क्योंकि कोचेज़ और वो सब एरिया था, उतने ही पीपल थे जो रेसलिंग से रिलेटेड थे, तो उनको इतना नहीं था. लेकिन जब घर जाती थी या स्कूल में भी, जैसे एक रेसलर को थोड़ी डाइट की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती है क्योंकि इतनी हार्ड ट्रेनिंग होती है, तो स्कूल में भी लड़के भी चिढ़ाते थे कि क्योंकि मैं बोतल में दूध लेके जाती थी, तो ये बहुत अजीब था उनके लिए कि ये क्या कर रही है. तो स्कूल में और आसपास के लोगों में बहुत हुआ, लेकिन रेसलिंग की जगह पे ऐसा नहीं हुआ.
तो आपके दोस्त बढ़े कि कम हो गए लड़कियों के बीच में जब आप रेसलर बने?
शुरू में तो बहुत मतलब ये था कि बात करना भी नहीं पसंद करते थे जैसे स्कूल टाइमिंग पे, लेकिन अभी वो फ्रेंड्स घर पे मिलने आते हैं, बहुत पुराने फ्रेंड्स जो नर्सरी से भी साथ हैं, 5th क्लास में जो फ्रेंड्स थे, तो वो अब घर पे मिलने आते हैं और पूछते हैं कि तू कब आएगी, हम मिलना चाहते हैं. तो बहुत चेंज हुआ है. अब उन्हें पता चला है कि क्या रेसलिंग है और ये ऐसा क्यों करती थी। तो उस टाइम पे मजाक बनाते थे, लेकिन अब बोलते हैं कि साक्षी सॉरी कि हम तेरे साथ क्या करते थे, मतलब ऐसा भी हुआ है।
तो ये सवाल उठता है कि अगर साक्षी मलिक रेसलर नहीं बनती, रजत पदक के बारे में भूल जाते हैं, सिर्फ ये कि आपने रेसलिंग नहीं ली, आपकी ज़िंदगी क्या होती?
नॉर्मल होती, थोड़ी सी पढ़ाई के बाद पेरेंट्स शादी कर देते।
किस उम्र पे?
घर में इतना ये नहीं था कि मुझे बहुत जल्दी से शादी कर देते, लेकिन जो नॉर्मल एज होती है 23, 24 में मेरी शादी मतलब कर देते कोई।
और किसी ने एक दफ़ा नहीं कहा कि शादी कर लो, इसको छोड़ दो?
बोला कि लड़की के लिए नहीं है, कान टूट जाते हैं और मसल्स बन जाती हैं, कौन शादी करेगा। मम्मी को भी चिंता होती है कभी कभी कि नहीं।
तुम्हें कभी चिंता हुई थी?
नहीं, मुझे नहीं हुई।
Promise?
हाँ हाँ, मुझे तो ये होता था कि कान टूट जाए और मुझे सब देखे कि मैं रेसलर हूँ। लेकिन मेरी मम्मी बोलती थी कान टूट गए तो उसी दिन रेसलिंग से बाहर कर दूंगी मैं तुझे। फिर बस धीरे धीरे समझ आने शुरू हुई, तो ईयर गार्ड। अभी मुझे भी ये लगता है कि थैंक गॉड कान नहीं टूटे, क्योंकि सीरियसली अजीब नज़र से देखते हैं। जैसे कई रेसलर्स हैं हमारी, उनके कान टूटे हुए हैं, बहुत मतलब बड़े बड़े हैं, तो उनको अजीब नज़र से देखते हैं, टोंटिंग भी करते हैं, तो ये सब।
पूर्णा, फिफ्थ क्लास के बाद सोशल वेलफेयर स्कूल्स में एक दिन रॉक क्लाइंबिंग का ये जो आपको बुलाया गया था, मैं बात करना चाहता हूँ। आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू, हाउ डिड इट फील टू क्लाइंब द रॉक फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम?
First time, it was a 5 days training, rock climbing training.
सॉरी, ये 650 फुट का रॉक है, 65 फ्लोर्स हाई। एक बंदा वहां पे चींटी जैसे दिखता है। जस्ट सो यू नो, दिस वाजंट सम स्मॉल रॉक, मैसिव रॉक।
तो फर्स्ट डे और रॉक के पास गए थे हमने। देन आई आस्क माय कोच शेखर बाबू सर ये करना है क्या, ये इसको क्लाइंब करना है क्या, पूछा मैंने। देन ही सेड हाँ यही करना है, यही क्लाइंब करना है बोला। तो आई वॉज शॉक, गॉड हाउ टू क्लाइंब दिस रॉक, कैसे होगा, मेरे से इतना छोटी हूँ, कैसे होगा, बड़ा लोग करेगा बट मेरे से कैसे होगा। आई वॉज शॉक लाइक दैट। देन आई सेड विद सर ये तो मैं कैसे करूँगी ऐसे। आई सेड देन सर सेड मी everything is possible with man, everything is possible क्योंकि not only boys, not only young elder people. Rock climbing training content students kind of, it's only for government school students. Out of 120 was selected for HMI, Online Mountaineering Institution, Darjeeling, West Bengal. So we went to there. Then I want to tell that story. तो हमने इंस्टीट्यूशन को गए थे। There other instructors, we have other instructors. They said with Shikhar sir, like इतना छोटा बच्चों को क्यों लेके आए, ये क्या करेगा। They said like that. आपने बोला था कि मैं ट्रेनिंग के लिए 20 पीपल्स को लेके आ रहा हूँ। Then I am thinking बड़ा लोगों को लेके आ रहा है, इतना छोटा बच्चों को क्यों लेके आए, क्या करेगा वो। They said like that. Then I think मैंने सोचा था कि क्यों नहीं करेगा, कुछ भी, everything is possible. हम बताएंगे सर, हम बच्चों को ऐसे बात करेंगे, क्यों नहीं करेगा, we'll show them what we will do. Then उसको नहीं लगा था, क्या नहीं करेगा कि नहीं लगा उसको, इंस्ट्रक्टर्स को। देन वो 3 दिन ट्रेनिंग दिया उधर ही HMI इंस्टीट्यूशन में। 3 दिन ट्रेनिंग दिया था, लाइक जॉगिंग एक्सरसाइजेस एंड रॉक क्लाइंबिंग। उसके बाद उसको कॉन्फ्रेंस था, ये करेगा, उसको सिक्किम वाला इसको लेके जाना। देन स्टार्टेड टू क्लाइंब एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप को गए थे उधर। देयर फर्स्ट टाइम मैंने स्नो देखा। जब बुक्स में पढ़ते हैं स्नो आइस लाइक बुक में पढ़ते हैं, बट देखना फर्स्ट टाइम। आई फेल्ट व्हेन आई वाज वॉकिंग ऑन स्नो, I felt like I am in heaven, like heaven. Oh God, really? मैं हूँ क्या? I think like that. With the colorful dresses, wandering dresses, and shoe भी बहुत वजन लगा है कि 4-5 kgs शू का वेट. शू के नीचे क्रैम्पॉन्स डालते हैं आइस पे क्लाइंब करने के लिए. So it's very exciting moments. And we summited Rinok Peak. We 20 summited Rinok Peak. It is 17,000 feet.
I thought you should hear that. Then we'll finally get to the Everest part in the last round of stuff. What has been your Everest? Some of us have Everests that are hidden below regrets. Some have our Everest hidden below lack of money. Some have Everests जहाँ पे लोग कहे तुम नहीं कर पाती हो तो कॉन्फिडेंस लूज हो जाता है. हमारे सब में एक एवरेस्ट है. What's you might have scaled it, right? What is it? Or what is it?
I think I would say that every day is a kind of scaling of your own Everest, right? In the sense you scale one mountain, you're looking for the next one to scale. In my case, it's not a literal mountain, it's a metaphorical mountain. But I mean, when I look back at my life, I've done some pretty, there's no other word, some pretty crazy things. I mean, I have to be a 13-year-old who climbed Everest, but I went in illegally without knowing a word of Arabic, without knowing anybody, with one producer and a cameraman through Egypt into Libya when the Gaddafi regime was collapsing. Hitched a ride with a perfect stranger who had a knife and a gun, which we saw later when we got into his car because there were fighters with guns everywhere and this guy.
Where is this?
This is Libya. This is Libya when Tahrir Square had happened. Egypt, mostly Mubarak's regime had fallen. I had covered that and I had figured out the easiest way to get into Libya was to actually go into the Egypt and Libya share a border, so on the eastern flank. And there was an all-out war, and this wasn't even unlike Kargil, my war. I didn't speak the language, I didn't know anybody, there was nobody I could call, and, I had trouble. But I think that, what is it? I mean, I think there's an adrenaline high, and that adrenaline high is what you seek. All of us seek that in our own ways, and you want something that feels difficult, and then when you achieve it, it gives you that high. And the other thing is that, and I think this is not commented on enough, is what happens to you after you're successful, right? You will not imagine the number of people who come to try and drag you down. You will not imagine the lynch mobs that come after you on social media platforms. It's now become so easy. You're just a keyboard warrior. What does it take to say a horrible thing about someone to someone, right? You will not imagine how work that you're really proud of is sought to be smeared with all kinds of things, very sort of powerful habits. So I think we also have to
because I wanted to do it so badly, I developed another film, and I had a very big actor ask me to do a project for him. And it was a big star. The project was going to be a short hit, and everybody was like, a lot of people in my life were advising me to just take it. But it wasn't mine. It wasn't my film. It wasn't something, I know I could have done a good job, and I remember speaking to Meera Nair, who I had worked with.
You hadn't written it?
No. I remember speaking to Meera Nair, who I worked with, and my brother. And they were the only two people. Meera was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't want to do it. And she was like, don't do it. You might have to sit for a bit. Don't do it. And Farhan was like, don't do it if you don't want to do it. But saying no at that point, when you have no way of making your own story, and I think that held me in good stead. So Luck by Chance happened very ironically because of these events. Yeah, because I said no to this, it dominoed into something, and my first film got made. When the film got made, nobody watched it. Nobody watched it.
Luck by Chance?
No, it made no money. Yeah.
What?
I got awards, and a lot of the press was amazing to the film. The critics were amazing, but nobody watched it. So yeah, that was tough. Yeah.
So then, what tell me about the Friday the film releases. How did you feel on Sunday?
I didn't check by Sunday. I was just happy my film released and everybody was praising me. And I think by Wednesday I said, how's it doing? And that's when I was told, it's not doing well at all. And I was like, how can that be? But like, it's being reviewed and people are loving it. I mean, the certain section of people, but nobody watched it. They didn't understand it. They didn't get it. So then you're back to the drawing board and you start from scratch.
Did it change your what you wanted to say? Did you now think, will people like it? Will they not?
Yeah, you do think
For
that.
Zindagi.
Yeah, I mean, but I knew, I'd already decided I wanted to do a road trip. But then you have to think about how you cast it. You have to think about, you know, oh, it's going to open. You have to, it definitely, it gets murky.
Those dynamics kick in.
They kick in.
But it was a huge success.
Zindagi, yeah.
And many people say it was the movie
Yeah.
that they've enjoyed.
But it was also a dude movie.
Yeah.
It was,
Fine.
you know what I mean?
So
Yeah, I don't know. I really
I
don't know.
was asking, what would have happened if those three were women? Interesting. Thelma, Louise, and Louise.
I don't know if it would have garnered that kind of, it was a dude movie.
So then talk to me about the Wednesday after Zindagi.
It was very, very, very nice. I'm sorry, but the sound of that ka-chink is very good when you make a film because it didn't open that well. Because, you know, people didn't know what it was and it wasn't bombastic in its publicity. So it opened like 8, 9, which for a Hrithik, Katrina starrer wasn't, I've learned all this along the way, wasn't really good. But then it just stayed and it just kept making money and kept making money and it was just amazing.
And it relaxed you for DDD?
Yeah.
Because then you knew that you had a hit behind you.
Yeah, I mean, you do feel a bit relaxed. I mean, I got very relaxed. I didn't work for a bit. You know, that was not good. I just traveled. But yeah, it does relax. But it's the same. You start from scratch and then it, you know, it's just a...
साक्षी, बहुत मैंने भी सुना है लोग आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि इसके बाद क्या. मेरा सवाल थोड़ा तुम्हारी ख्वाहिश क्या थी जब तुमने रेसलिंग शुरू किया था? क्या वो ख्वाहिश कंप्लीट हुई है? क्या वो ख्वाहिश के जगह पे एक और नया ख्वाहिश आया है? और अगर वो है तो वो क्या है और उसको पहुंचने में तुम क्या कर रही हो? तो फर्स्ट रेसलिंग पे जब तुमने फर्स्ट स्टार्ट किया, पहली ख्वाहिश क्या थी?
जैसा मैंने बताया कि मेरा कि इंडिया में फर्स्ट आओगे तो आप प्लेन में बैठ के दूसरी कंट्री में खेलने जाओगे तो मुझे ये था कि मुझे अब तो प्लेन में बैठना है, कुछ भी हो जाए क्योंकि वो हवा में उड़ता था और उसे देखते रहना कि कब मुझे मौका मिलेगा. तो उसके लिए मैंने ट्रेनिंग शुरू कर दी कि अब तो मुझे हार्ड वर्क करना है, इंडिया में फर्स्ट आना है और प्लेन में बैठना है. सिर्फ यही दिमाग में रहता था कि प्लेन में बैठना है. धीरे धीरे समझ हुई, जैसे जैसे मैं बाहर कॉम्पिटिशन्स खेलने गई और समझ हुई कि एक ओलंपिक्स ऐसा लेवल है जो हर एथलीट का सपना होता है वहाँ तक पहुँचना. तो रेसलिंग से बहुत ज़्यादा लगाव होता चला गया और फिर ये था कि अब तो मुझे कुछ भी हो जाए ओलंपिक्स में जाना है. मुझे दिन रात सिर्फ मतलब रेसलिंग ही दिखती थी. मैं कभी शादीज़ में नहीं गई, मैं पार्टीज़ में जाए, मुझे ये नहीं पता कि वीकेंड कैसे एंजॉय करते हैं. तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें सेक्रीफाइस भी करनी पड़ी. ये नहीं कि मेरा इंटरेस्ट होता था जाने में, मैं इंटरेस्टेड ही नहीं थी क्योंकि मुझे सुबह शाम ट्रेनिंग और दिन में रेस्ट चाहिए होता था. बस फिर ओलंपिक्स हमेशा अपने सपने में क्या हमेशा सोचते रहना कि मुझे, जैसे मैं फोटोज देख रही थी, जैसे पहले हमारे जो रेसलर्स हैं सुशील पहलवान जो योगेश्वर, उन्होंने ऐसे ओलंपिक्स में झंडा लहराया. तो हमेशा ये इमेजिन करना कि मैं भी ओलंपिक पोडियम पे हूँ और मेडल फ्लैग लेके घूम रही हूँ. तो मेरा सपना था वो और वो पूरा हो गया. रियो में पहले भी था पर मैं थोड़ा जूनियर थी, मैं नहीं जीत पाई, मैं 12 के ओलंपिक्स में नहीं जा पाई. लेकिन जब से रियो के था दिन रात मुझे सिर्फ रियो दिखता था. मैंने अपने रूम में भी एक टैग लगाया हुआ था कि रियो, कि मैं सो के उठती थी तो मुझे वही दिखता था. दिन में या रात सुबह मैं सो के उठती थी सिर्फ मुझे वही दिखता था. तो टारगेट तो ओलंपिक का था, वो पूरा हो गया. लेकिन वही बात है कि कभी मतलब ख्वाहिश मतलब वो नहीं है कि
तो,
सब्र नहीं आता है.
अब एक और शिखर पहुंचना
एक और आता है, एक और शिखर पहुंचना.
मुझे पता है वो क्या है.
हाँ, वो
सबको पता है वो क्या है.
सबको पता है. और मैं एक बात तो शेयर करना चाहूंगी, जब रेसलिंग की समझ हुई तो सब बताते हैं कि जापानीज कंट्रीज बहुत स्ट्रांग है. मतलब तो मेरे वेट में जो मेरी चैम्पियन थी तो सब बताते थे कि जापानीज़ बहुत स्ट्रांग है, और जो मेरे वेट की वो 4 बार की लगातार ओलंपिक चैम्पियन है। तो मैं बाहर कंपटीशन में जाने लगी और मुझे ये था कि मुझे वो उनको देखने का कब मौका मिलेगा, कि मैं उन स्टार्स को कब देख पाऊंगी। तो सडनली मैं कंपटीशन में गई और वहाँ वो ट्रेनिंग कर रही थी और मैं अपनी ट्रेनिंग छोड़ के सिर्फ उन्हें ही देखे जा रही हूँ कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं। मैं पागल उन्हें देखने के लिए कि मैं कब उससे मिल पाऊंगी, हाथ मिला पाऊंगी या फोटो। वही दिन है कि रियो में मैं उसके साथ पोडियम पे खड़ी हूँ। सेम, मतलब मैं अभी भी सोचती हूँ क्या वो सच्ची में पूरा हो गया। 2011 में मैं ट्रेनिंग कर रही हूँ और उसे देख रही हूँ, और फिर 16 में वो फर्स्ट पे खड़ी और मेरा थर्ड मेडल आया, तो हम सेम पोडियम शेयर कर रहे हैं। तो मतलब अभी भी विश्वास नहीं होता कई बार मैं मतलब बैठ के सोचती हूँ तो।
Purna, you know the question. Selected for Everest. I want people to hear about your final ascent. Base camp, you were at base camp for 2-3 weeks, no? 5 days. No, but then you fell ill, you came back 5 days. And then you, so from the time that you decided Camp 3 to final ascent, from that time to the ascent, I want people to hear the story.
तो मैं एक बात बताना चाहती हूँ, लद्दाख ट्रेनिंग के लिए हम फर्स्ट टाइम फ्लाइट में गए थे। मैंने फर्स्ट टाइम फ्लाइट ट्रैवल लद्दाख को गए थे। आई थिंक दैट इंडिगो फ्लाइट ओनली। वो मेरा आई डोंट थिंक आई विल ट्रैवल इन फ्लाइट जब तक मैंने ट्रेन में भी ट्रैवल नहीं किया था। दार्जिलिंग को ट्रेन में गए थे, बट फ्लाइट में इट्स वेरी हैप्पी व्हेन आई वाज फ्लाइंग ऑन फ्लाइट। एंड लैंड होना जा रही थी जब मैंने वॉमिटिंग कर लिया। इट्स फर्स्ट टाइम एंड इट्स वेरी हैप्पीएस्ट मोमेंट फॉर मी। तो एवरेस्ट जर्नी, इट वाज ट्रेनिंग इज डिफरेंट एंड एवरेस्ट एक्सपीडिशन इज डिफरेंट बिकॉज इट्स लाइफ डेथ ट्रैकिंग। तो मैंने डेथ के बारे में एंड एवलेंस आई डोंट थिंक अबाउट ऑल दैट। एक ही है मेरा गोल, आई वॉन्ट टू फुलफिल द ड्रीम ऑफ मी एंड who are waiting for my success, like Praveen Kumar sir, parents, teachers, and I want to prove that girls, लड़कियों कुछ भी कर सकती है, वही दिख रहा था मुझे। Then 5 दिन एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप को पहुंच गए। Then we stayed 5 days for acclimatization in the Everest base camp. तो 5 days के बाद we started trekking to up. एवरेस्ट बेस कैंप से एडवांस बेस कैंप को जा रहे थे, तो बहुत उल्टी हुआ था मुझे। I got vomitings till to reach advanced base camp from Everest base camp. तो then doctor gave medicines, तो ही कम नहीं हुआ क्योंकि वो वेदर को एडजस्ट नहीं हुआ मैंने। My body is not supported for weather and high altitude, and also I don't like that food also. I interested and I like pakka South Indian food. So I got so much vomitings. Then Shekhar sir sent me back to again Everest base camp for stay 2-3 days for adjust to cold weather. Then we stayed 3 days in again Everest base camp. And after 3 days again we started up, and vomitings तो कम हो गए। Then मुझे एवरेस्ट ट्रैकिंग में एडवांस बेस कैंप से कैंप 1 जाना बहुत टफ लगा था क्योंकि इट्स वेरी स्टीफ माउंटेन, स्टीफ क्लाइंबिंग एडवांस बेस कैंप से कैंप 1 के। तो एडवांस बेस कैंप 6,400 meters and camp 1 is 7,100 meters. It took 8 hours to reach camp 1 from advanced base camp for me. तो कैंप 1 से आर्टिफिशियल ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर यूज़ करना है। एक सिलेंडर 4 kgs रहता है। for each one 6 to 7 cylinders we have to use होता है 6 to 7 cylinders. तो मेरा वेट से ज़्यादा वही वेट हो जा रहा है कैरी करना. I carried 3 to 4 cylinders and extra clothings, equipments, and food also. Like I don't like that food, but dry fruit, chocolates, I carried that all. So nearly 15 to 20 kgs I carried with me. So वहाँ से camp 3, it is called death zone. ज़्यादा लोग उधर ही मर जाते हैं, कैंप डेड होता है क्योंकि ऑक्सीजन लेवल्स कम हो जाती है एंड ऑक्सीजन ख़त्म हो जाती है, ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर्स ख़त्म हो जाती है, नहीं तो हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम आके दे विल डाई. तो मैंने एवरेस्ट मार्च 24 आई रीच एट कैंप 3. वहाँ से अभी नाइट पे डे टाइम को 3 o'clock वहाँ पहुँच गए, आफ्टरनून 3 o'clock कैंप 3 को पहुँच गए. वहाँ से अभी कंटिन्यू कर रहा था. वही नाइट पे 9:30 को वी हैव टू स्टार्ट टू समिट द माउंट एवरेस्ट. इट वाज लास्ट ट्रेकिंग, लास्ट नाइट, लास्ट डे. तो 9:30 को स्टार्ट हुआ था, नाइट 9:30, एंड वी आर trekking continuously. Then in midnight, what time I don't know, actual what time I don't know, थोड़ा चक्कर आई थी मुझे. Then I said with शेरपा, सर मुझे बैठने के लिए मन कर रहा है. ऐसे नहीं बोला क्यों, सर मुझे चक्कर आ रही है, ऐसे नहीं बोला क्योंकि जब मुझे वॉमिटिंग्स हुआ था ना, जब शेरपा ने बोला कि अगेन इफ़ यू गॉट वॉमिटिंग्स वी विल सेंड यू बैक टू हैदराबाद, दे सेड लाइक दैट. देन मैंने उसको मन में रख के, सर मुझे बैठने के लिए मन कर रहा है कि बोला. देन ही सेड वहाँ बैठने के लिए जगह भी नहीं है क्योंकि एक साइड पे माउंटेन्स हैं, वॉकिंग ट्रैकिंग करने के लिए ही जगह है, एक साइड पे वैलीज है. देन थोड़ा आगे जाके बैठेंगे, ही सेड. देन वी कंटिन्यूड स्लोली आई गो अप. देन वी सीटेड वन प्लेस. देन ही वो चेक किया था मेरा ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर, ऑक्सीजन ख़त्म हो गई.
The oxygen had finished. She was going to die.
Then immediately he changed the oxygen cylinder, Sherpa. Then I continually started. ये 2 प्रॉब्लम आया था, दूसरा प्रॉब्लम कुछ नहीं आया था. Then morning 6 o'clock 25th May 2014, I was on the top of the Everest. तो समिट तो ख़त्म हो गई. देन वी हैव टू कम बैक. कमिंग बैक जब मैंने डेड बॉडी देखा,
समिट पे कैसा लगा?
तो समिट पे आई होस्टेड आवर इंडियन फ्लैग एंड वी प्लेस्ड आवर ग्रेट पर्सन डॉक्टर B.R. अम्बेडकर्स फोटो ऑन माउंट एवरेस्ट. तो फर्स्ट मैंने जाके फर्स्ट बैठ गई थी माउंट एवरेस्ट पे. एंड
have one of those wonderful felicitation trophies. Bhakti, thanks. And who is going to give this one to Yashaswini? Sakshi. Sakshi, come. I shall stay out of the picture and you can felicitate Yashaswini with. Yashaswini, anything in your mind about what you just heard for the last 45 minutes?
It's amazing to know all the backstories of all the women that we know in the front face. And Sakshi, also, I'd like to tell you one thing. I'm sure my grandfather, Mom's dad, he was an Olympian wrestling, 1952 Finland. So he had come forth that time in the heavyweights. So of course, it's sports and everything is like in the family. And knowing in all walks of life, when you come over your stage and somewhere the connection is always there. And women being so strong now, it's really important that you know the backstory of everyone because it's not easy for everyone. Everyone goes through a lot of stuff to be where they are, and that's appreciated today. Thank you so much.
The next lady we're going to meet is Priyanka Soni.
Rahul. It's a fantastic, fantastic subject. I'm sure it will do wonders on the box office, but the changes that it will make in the minds of people, that is going to be your success. That is your true success.
Thank you so much. And it is my first trophy from Indigo. So I'm very happy. And being here today, it's a new experience. And I'm actually facing all these things very first time, like in this audience, and like everyone is watching me. So it's really amazing. And I'm very happy today. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Let me just get the.
Yes, it's quite inspiring to hear all their stories as Purna, Sakshi and everyone else. And I can relate a lot because I'm also into sport and on an all-male grid. So I'm all inspired to do better. Thank you.
Now for the wonderful photographers, एक जो थोड़े से सो रहे थे भी, आप लोगों के लिए अभी फोटो लेते हैं. Ready? चलो. Let's take the tables back, and so you can have a photo opportunity that you wanted to. I'll call the 4 women on stage. We'll take some pictures and then.
मुझे ज़्यादा ट्रबल्स नहीं आया था एंड आई एम लकी आई एम नॉट गेट एनी प्रॉब्लम्स while climbing Mount Everest. So the inspiration of me is Praveen Kumar sir. He is role model for me, and we have 10 commandments in our school like prayer. So 10th commandment is I shall never give up, and first commandment is I am not inferior to anyone.
Wow.
That's fabulous, fabulous.
Amazing.
Yashaswini?
Hi, ma'am. Barka, ma'am, question for you. So basically, we've all known you that someone who stands strong in the face of adversity. And I'm someone who seeks adventure just like you do at your job. And just want to know, ma'am, what motivates you and keeps you going? Especially when people challenge you at times in the face on public platform. And you just said right now it's tough to get up there also. And it's more tougher to be up there. So how do you deal with all those things?
So I think one of the things that I've experienced, and I've seen a lot of other women who are independent, who are strong-minded, who are strong-willed, go through is that when you get to that point that you wanted to get to, there will be literally a kind of wolf snap, literally snapping at your ankles, if you can imagine it like that, to somehow do something to demoralize you, demotivate you, be horrible to you, say horrible things about you. And of course, new age technology has made it much easier. I've had death threats and rape threats on social media platforms. I get stalked on my WhatsApp groups. The groups are now formed in ways where even if you try and get out of the group, somebody adds you back on. With women, there's also a great deal of scrutiny on morality and sexuality, right? So for example, my Wikipedia profile kept getting edited to marry me off to men whom I don't even know. I'm not married, but the fact is that there's such obsessive interest in whether women are married, who they're with, what their sexuality is, what's their morality. This is not something that that men in the public eye go through. And I remember I was once interviewing Hillary Clinton, and she said to me that, it's that you have to have a skin as thick as that of a rhinoceros. A successful woman has to have that much of a thick skin. And the way I respond to it is by saying that, okay, treat it as a challenge. Treat it as the fact that there are people out there whom you threaten, whom you make insecure. You matter that much that somebody is actually bothering to try and pull you down. And it's a kind of mind game. It's almost like psychological warfare, right? They want to make you feel underconfident about yourself. And I'm very stubborn that way. I think the more you challenge me, actually the more of a favor you're doing me. The more you dare me, it's likely that I'm going to win that battle. If you actually leave me alone, there are chances that I might get too comfortable and might get complacent. But if you're nasty with me, I can be nasty right back. And one of the things I find a lot of young girls especially ask me, what should we do if we want to be this, that, or the other? And I always say that the toughest thing in life, and this is especially true for women, is to find the courage to be yourself. And why do I say courage? Because I think there are many people with women who try and tell you who you should be. It could be your parents, it could be your sister, it could be your friends, it could be your peer group, it could be your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever. If you're able to stand at a distance from the herd, from the mob, and actually just be yourself, just be true to yourself, live up only to your own expectations, nobody else's, I think you'll find it's not that difficult actually. Just be comfortable in your own skin.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Hello, follow your dream. And who is that one person who's lifted you up, and how have you conquered it?
रेसलिंग में ऐसा नहीं हुआ, क्योंकि जब से मैंने रेसलिंग शुरू की तो बस मुझे अपना गोल अचीव करना था. और जैसे कभी मैंने बताया कि लोग बुरी तरीके से देखते थे, मुझे इंडिया आना वापस मुश्किल हो जाता था कि मैं क्या जवाब दूंगी. तो उस टाइम पे कोचेस और पेरेंट्स सपोर्ट करते थे कि कोई बात नहीं, आप अपने लिए खेलो, दुनिया को तो ऐसे ही बोलना है. वही बात है कि अगर हम करेंगे तो भी बोलेंगे, नहीं करेंगे तो भी बोलेंगे. तो हमेशा कोचेस, पेरेंट्स ने बहुत सपोर्ट किया और कभी मुझे लेट डाउन नहीं होने दिया, और बस उन्होंने बहुत सपोर्ट किया, इसीलिए आज मैं यहाँ हूँ.
And finally, Ria, आपका एक प्रश्न है ना, and I think it's for Purna, am I right?
It's for you, sir.
For me?
Okay, so being both of us being a rugby player, so I know how it is not to let your spirit break when your body breaks. But is there any special message you've taken away from your role in Purna that will motivate the women in our country?
From my acting?
Yeah, from this movie.
From this movie?
Yeah.
Of course, my God, so many things. I think जब एक 13 साल की लड़की माउंट एवरेस्ट के शिखर के पास है और बॉडी कह रहा है कि सो जाओ, 2 मिनट बैठते, 2 मिनट यार, जस्ट लेट्स गो टू स्लीप. जैसे हम एग्ज़ाम टाइम पे अलार्म बजता है और 5 मिनट. फ़र्क यह है कि वहाँ पे एग्ज़ाम आप मिस करोगे और फेल करोगे, वहाँ पे आप मर जाओगे. सिंपल. तो इसमें एक सो जाओ सो जाओ सो जाओ, एंड देन फिर यू सी 6 डेड बॉडीज, one by one by one. This girl saw 6 dead bodies. They don't take it down from Everest. They just turn it face down. And then to say, I have to go there to the summit and come back before I die. I have to come back before I die. This idea for me, that to reach somewhere and then to come back from that place before something in you changes forever, is I keep very, very close to my heart. And I have learned that at your best moment in life, at your most triumphant, it's really strange, we are always alone. In our head, we are always alone. We sit for 30 seconds alone. We don't need anybody around us. I don't know whether you guys have felt that. But at that one moment, it's a very private, very, very concentrated moment where everything is silent and everything is peaceful. And all you want is to be alone in your own peace. Well, thank you everybody. Thanks for this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful opportunity for us to get to chat with these incredible women. You know Purna releases on March 31st. You know all that stuff. So, and you've heard enough. Thank you for being here. And now, mujhe pata hai, start. All these photographers are waiting at the starting line. We'll do some pictures and we'll do some sound bites, whatever needs to be done. The Spice guys are here, so we'll figure it out. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.